Hi guys, it's Jen Gallacher with a quick tip on how you can prepare cards a little bit faster. What this involves is first taking pattern paper that you have purchased or collected and cutting it down into backgrounds that fit your card size. These are all A2 cards, and what I've done is I've taken some of my favorite pattern papers from recent collections from Echo Park Paper, and I've cut them to the A2 card size. This is what they look like on the back. And what I did is I went through a collection kit that I purchased, and I looked at patterns that I knew and loved and thought would work well for a scale on an A2 card. So the first thing to do is when you get pattern paper is cut down card fronts for an A2 size or whatever card size you typically use. Do be aware if you want a top folding card or side folding card. As a pattern like this, it won't matter, but say you have something that has a pattern that seems to have an up and a down, you'll want to consider whether it needs to be cut this way or this way. So cut your paper. Secondly, you are going to do some pre-die cutting. So here's some of the dies that I recently was given from Echo Park. Just run through them real quick. Some doily dies, a lot of holiday dies, holiday phrases, and then some generic dies. So first I shop dies that look interesting or are for upcoming projects, and then what I do is for a die like this is I start immediately opening it and taking it apart, and then I start cutting a bunch of different backgrounds with this die. So I'm going to walk you through this die a little bit. This die is the stitched rectangle die set, and it actually comes with all of these different rectangles clipped together, and I just unclipped them. And then what I do is I determine based on the cards I'm working on or just basic colors, I pre-die cut a bunch of shapes all at once. So I sit at my die cut machine for about 15 minutes, and then I cut out a variety of different sizes from the rectangles that I think will work. So I've done it from white and craft. I've done it from Nina so I can stamp on it. And then I've also done some from pattern paper. So based on knowing that I'm going to be working on holiday cards, I took a moment and I pre-cut these. If you find that you're always using a white background or craft background, then I suggest you just cut them. And then I place them in a very fancy Ziploc bag, and I store them along with the die cut that I'm using. So let me show you how I've done some of the others as well. I've done the same thing with the doilies that I showed you before. I cut some from white and some from craft, and that means I can just quickly start creating with these dies. I die cut some of the wreath elements, and this particular one I had a specific concept in mind. So as I was die cutting, I cut both the wreath that I think I'm going to use and the tag I'm going to use, as well as the phrase. So you can do all of the elements at once if you know what you're making, but you can also just cut a bunch of different items. Now for phrases, sometimes it's a little more challenging, but again, knowing that I was going to make holiday cards and knowing that I was going to use colors from certain collections, I went ahead and tried to cut this word cheer from white, burgundy, gold, light blue, and they are sticking together a little bit. You can see the different colors. This is a shimmery gold. So I went ahead and pre-die cut all of them. So that way when I want to build a card, I already have all these elements that are ready to go. So for instance, if I was going to build a card, I could start with an A2 background. I could quickly bring in a rectangle. I could quickly bring in a pre-die cut label shape, and then I could add more fun elements like this pine needle die, and then just build from there. But because I've already pre-die cut everything, it just makes it really quick and easy to put a card together. Now you can use this same technique with background stamps. If you tend to like white background cards and then a color, you could start doing the colors that you know are coming. or if there's background colors such as black or gray that you use a lot, you could do that as well. Embossing folders, the exact same concept. Right now I seem to be using a lot of white backgrounds, so I can sit at my desk and emboss several white folders all at once, and I'm ready to go with an embossing piece, which then I can later come in and die cut further, like create a circle or whatever I want. So basically what you're going to do, just to review, is pre-cut card backgrounds, then use your stamps and your embossing folders rather, and your dies, and just sit for like a half an hour or an hour, pre-cut just a bunch of things that make sense that you use frequently, and then when you go to build your card, you have all of your elements to get ready and start creating. So I hope you've enjoyed this tip. If you'd like to see more tips from me, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel or visit jengallacher.com for additional inspiration.